Hi, how are you all? Hopefully, all of you guys will be healthy at your home during this tough time. Today is your host Shubham Kumar, and welcome back to Legal Talk series once again. Today is a very special day for me, and today, the person which I am talking about today, she does not need any recognition because all of you guys will know him. Today, I have very privileged that you came on Legal Talk Show with Shubham. Today, I got a chance to take your blessings, and today I feel honored that you took out your precious time for us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. And ma'am is currently working as a partner in Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas Co. So thank you so much, ma'am, once again for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Shubham.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, my first question is for you. I would like to know about your background first. Where are you came from, and where did you complete your education? And what was the thought that came in your mind that you think that you should go ahead and become an advocate?
So, where am I from? I am a complete Delhi born, brought up product.
Yes, ma'am.
I have done completely, my education has been from Delhi, be it school or be it my college.
Yes, ma'am.
What prompted me to uh, become an advocate is, you could say that it's a mix of following the family tradition and also an accident, in the sense that I was the kinds who right from school was very active, be it with debates or extemporaries or other competitions. So it was a natural choice for me to think of law as a career option. Um, when I had to really take a decision, definitely I didn't want to, look at normal graduation for 3 years and then thinking. At my time, the stereotype was MBA or law was just very new, so to say, for our generation, and the national law schools had just come in. So I decided it's better to maybe spend 5 years, pursuing a particular path and becoming something or achieving something after that, rather than pursuing graduation and then thinking what to do. So add to that, right from school I have had some very important feelings, so to say, on certain issues. I feel very strongly about certain issues, be it child or women rights. I was totally inclined towards human rights, so that is what prompted me to take law as a career option.
But ma'am, I wouldn't think that you were an accidental lawyer. Hmm.
No, so to elaborate on that, and I was very naive. It was only one law school's form that I had filled. I had not filled any other colleges' forms. I had no plan Bs. I had no backup plans. And this was just this one college that I was relying on. I got through with a free seat. So looking back in retrospect, I feel, had that not happened for me, then what? But God's been kind.
Ma'am, this is a very beautiful journey that you describe in doctor. Uh, Ma'am, my second question is for you. Whose idea do you consider in your life?
See, so having spent at least from a career perspective, having spent about almost 14 years in the profession, I have had some beautiful people to be with and be under their guidance. um, I can safely say, it's been very, very rewarding for me. um, I would say that I don't have a particular person when it comes to, following someone or thinking that, he or she is my ideal. But the closest that I can think of is Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. He was my first boss. I started my law career as a judicial clerk to him, and he's one person I completely look up to in many and in very many ways. But I do feel that, that every person that you come across in your journey of life has something, to teach you and to uh, help you learn. It is really for you to see what you want to pick from that person. I truly believe that there are no coincidences. So therefore, take away the good from the people you come across and move on, carry on with your life.
Definitely, ma'am. And ma'am, you are in a first generation lawyer or something else, ma'am?
No. So, like I said, my family tradition was, so my father is also a practicing advocate. My grandfather was also a practicing advocate. So it was in one way easy for me to think of law as an option. So yes, I'm not a first generation lawyer.
Ma'am, can you please tell how was your initial year when you came into the legal profession?
So how my initial years, to begin with, like I said, I have spent about almost 14 years in the profession now, and I joined Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul as a law clerk immediately after law school. That experience, as you would have understood from my previous answer, remains, the closest to my heart. Even with the current place I am at, I feel the kind of experience I had during that time as a fresher and the kind of learnings that I had on a day to day basis helped me really grow and laid the foundation right for me. Every day I was learning something new, and what I have sort of come to realize is that a lot of things you can just learn through observation. Um, Thereafter, I have sort of worked with a foreign law firm for a year and a half in Dubai, and then since 2010, I have been with Amarchand Mangaldas, and after the split with Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas. But my first years have been. Let me actually also bring in, my years through the law as the law student days. So I was very interested in, pursuing law because it would help me give back to the society in some way, I felt. So I have worked with the Law Commission of India during, my law school days. I have also worked with United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. Of course, there are other law firms and lawyers that I worked with during my law school days. So in every way, every office or institution I worked with, there was something to take away from. Uh, for example, what really comes to my mind right now is when I was working with one of the NGOs, Human Rights Law Network. I was sent, and this as a law student, I was just sent to Tisazari court to help a trafficked victim, give her testimony, console her, and counsel her, and just to meet her and look at her, understand the trauma maybe that she went through. Because what I realized was that her mother had really sold her off for a few money, for a few bucks to a third person, and she showed me her, burnt marks, and she was in a very, very bad state. So that brought me close to reality, how our society functions, um, and made me further determined that, maybe through my path, through my journey in law, I can maybe better serve the society in some way, uh, make some difference, if not a big difference, um, and add more purpose to my life.
Your journey is definitely very adorable, and I think everyone get to know, get to learn about your from your journey, ma'am. My third question is for you, like your incomparable contribution in the field of law. So, would you like to share some moment that you inspired a lot?
There have been many moments like this, but let me answer this question in this way, that through this journey so far, what have been my, learnings, if I may put it that way, because I have still, I think, a lot to learn. But I have come to realize that, it's very important to keep pushing your limits, believing in yourself and overcoming, the challenges that come in your way. And there are very many instances which I can, share with you to explain this, which has been really inspiring for me. But the takeaway really has been that, never say never. Whatever situation you're faced with, you're being faced with that situation because there is a learning there. Number two, that you are capable of handling that situation. That is why it is before you. Um, always, always have the approach of a student. Never feel that, uh, everything. uh, that is how your learning will be continuous and constant. Being completely aware of, what's happening around, and being aware of the legal developments is another thing. And what inspires me is, seeing, let's like take an example. When we brief senior counsels on a day-to-day basis, on matters, and the way they work, right from wee hours in the morning till, late in the night, at their age, is inspiring. So, and at the same time, these are people who are somewhere able to, maintain work life balance as well. So I feel that there are things like this which are very, a lot of things which are inspiring like this. Then of course, find that one person, like you said, an idol. If you can find an idol and, have a confidant, the journey will become easy for you, because you do need to be supported and guided on this path, or any path for that matter. And when you look at these people, observe these people, uh, dealing with things and situations in their life, or otherwise, like uh, just looking at a person who inspires you. Let's say an advocate, you see argue in court, and you see his court craft, and you feel, okay, why did he say this, and at this moment, and he chose these words, and this is what impressed this court. The case, and that's where you somewhere understand that, okay, there are better ways to, maybe say the same thing and put across your thing and get a relief. Ultimately, it's really the relief that you're looking at for your client. So Um, uh, yes, I would say on a daily basis, I get inspired in some or the other way. Even when I look at my staff, the kind of hard life that they have, and still being happy in life, uh, I feel blessed and I am in complete gratitude. So there are, I think, like I said, through my previous answer, that there are many people on a day-to-day life who can inspire you or be an inspiration. It's really you and your perspective towards a particular situation or circumstance that really matters.
Ma'am, your journey is a very beautiful journey, and your conversation is will definitely helpful for those students who want to something in your life, who want to get success in your life. So I think that. And my second last question is for you. Do you think that more can be added to our education? That's help we can educate more people, more children through education. So, do you think that we can also taught about their fundamental rights, social rights, and duties to the our upcoming children who are the futures of our India?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there is no two way about it. Education is the key. Education brings a change in mindset. It opens your horizon to, a lot of things, a lot of things that you're not aware of, and it changes your perspective in many ways. Educating women is also very, very important. Like they say, you educate. I don't recall the exact phrase, but they say that you educate a boy and it's a single person that you educate in the family. But if you educate a woman in the family, you're really educating the whole family. So that's the sort of influence that women sort of bring in, and their power or role in the family or at society and society at large is. So I think the focus definitely has to be on women and children, and like you said, because they are the future uh, of this country.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts. And my last question is for you. There are a lot of students who are preparing for the government exam as well as they want to go into the corporate sector. So, anything they want in your life. So, do you have any general tips for them?
So one thing, as law students, I feel is, and this is a general advice that I feel these days, and taking cue from your last question, I would rather say number one, focusing more on your duties than your rights is one thing. I mean, of course, you need to be aware of your rights, but I think the change will kick in if you are aware of your duties as well. And why I'm and where I'm coming from is this, that the day we become little more compassionate and conscious about the other person's situation or position, our way of thinking will change. It will also help reduce the conflicts that we see in the society today. A lot of issues are related to intolerance, and that is because we have started focusing on, me, and me first. There is nothing wrong in being selfish. Uh, I think you need to be focused on yourself and your growth, but not where it is sort of impinging upon or infringing upon someone else's rights. So being aware and being sensitive about others and others' rights is, I think, paramount. That is something, as law students, one must completely sort of keep at the back of their mind. And now you may just feel that why is she saying this, because I'm asking the career guidance, where how is this fitting in, because these days competition is immense, so somewhere we don't know where to draw the line in the competition, and unfortunately we see uh, people losing themselves in the journey, be it preparing for exams, or being part of a corporate structure. It's very important to be conscious of yourself and your uh, fellow members around. I keep repeating this, that I am because you are. This is a concept that one must always sort of remember, that only if I'm able to help others will I be able to help myself. I can't exist without the other. This is very important. The other sort of general advice to a fresh graduate, who's looking at maybe at a career guidance is, like I previously also said, you must sort of read and understand the law, the practice, and the procedures. Practical training is very important these days. What happens is everyone wants easy money. No one is interested in uh, giving time to the subject or understanding the practical nuances to the subject. So understanding a subject in theory we all do in law schools, but the need is to focus on the application of that theory, that law, which is going to help you. That is why it is called practice. We say I practice law, right? So because it comes with practice, it comes with experience, and the more you practice, you get better at it. So that focus needs to be there. So make your choices appropriately. Don't shy away from putting in hard work through the initial years, definitely. But law is a profession which requires that constant effort at whatever position or stage you are in your life. This is one profession I can tell you for sure that you need to be passionate about. Otherwise, you would not be able to sustain. I don't believe in being an average. So if you're looking at being the best, then definitely it'll require that kind of sweat and hard work. Uh, Other than that, I feel that you need to also be proactive in your approach. So opportunities do come in, but you can sometimes create opportunities for yourself, and that uh, can happen only if you're sort of proactive. Otherwise, there is no difference between you or anyone else. So these would be sort of a few tips that I would say that people should uh, focus on. Other than that, I feel that while you're focusing on building a career for yourself, don't forget certain principles that at least I try to live by, which is work life balance, humanity first. It's very important to cooperate and take responsibility for your action, take ownership for your action, trust, have the trust in your team, or the people you're working with. It's really important. I feel if you're working as an individual lawyer, great, there also you need support, but definitely in a law firm structure, if you're in a team, all of these principles will help you sort of sail through, and a team functions better if sort of these principles are followed.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your beautiful, beautiful journey and true words. Really, I really appreciate, ma'am. And ma'am, now there's time to stop our conversation. So thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening with us. And thank you so much once again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Shubham. I
Thank
hope
you.
I was able to share some anecdotes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time.
Thank you. Bye. Have a lovely Sunday.